Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am Rue and today we are continuing on with my ongoing series where I pick a palette from my collection and I use every single shade in that palette. So what that means is I'm just going to create looks until every single shade has been at least used once in this video. Today we are playing with my Hipdot My Chemical Romance palette. This one is the 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge and this is the color story. So yeah, we're gonna be playing with this one today. I'm very excited. I feel like I don't dip into this one as often as maybe I could, probably just because the color story is a little dark and it's not super my go-to these days, but I still just love having a My Chemical Romance palette in my collection. I'm such a MCR diehard. I started listening to them in like the 5th grade, so this palette definitely holds a special place in my heart, and I'm very excited to create some looks with it with you guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into look number 1. Alrighty guys, for look number 1, I was thinking we would focus on the gray tones. So I am going to quickly say here there is only one shimmer. So I was thinking I might pull in a couple of my Game Beauty shimmers. I know I used a couple when I did the collection, but I do have 4 here, so I might pull in some of those. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do yet, but yeah, there's only one shimmer here and it's this silver, so we'll see. But I was thinking for the first look I would tape off my eyes just to give it that nice sharp look. It is the start of a new roll, so just like ignore the fact that there's that little blue mark on it. And I already did prime, although I think I should prime my lower lash line too. I didn't do that yet. That looks pretty even, I think. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more of my Morphe eye primer. Like I said, I did already prime my lid and crease, but we'll just throw a little bit of primer on that lower lash line too. Alrighty, I'm very excited. So I think we're going to start with the white and throw that all over the brow bone. This one is called Flock of Doves. And then we'll probably do some Shotgun Sinners and then Serpent Sun, and then I think I'll pull in the purple as well. I'm not 100% sure yet, so let's just start with those 3 grayscale shades and get them used. So I do also have a brush from this collection that I always forget to use because it has these really nice covers on it, so I never see them. There's 2 sides to it. So there's a more, like a slightly flatter and bigger side, and then there's a more fluffy side. They're not super different, but we're gonna go in with this side here. And just picking up that white shade, Flock of Doves, and I'm just gonna, oh, that's a good white. That's a good white, just throwing that all over. I feel like I actually might need to soften it just a little bit, so I'm actually gonna grab this even bigger fluffy brush. Wow, I like that. That might be the best white in my collection. And that was like just one little pickup of product. Like, do you see that? That's gorgeous. I feel like I've used this white before. I don't remember being this impressed by it though. Maybe I haven't used the white. So good. I first listened to MCR in the 5th grade. My friend, basically my sister at this point, she introduced it to me. I'm gonna go into Shotgun Sinners with the fluffier side of the brush. I feel like these are gonna be very pigmented, but yeah, she's basically like my sister now, and she introduced me and I fell in love with them, obviously. I was a little emo kid, and a couple years later I ended up getting tickets for Christmas, I think, to see them live. And it was one of the last times they came to where I live before they broke up. I know they're back together now, but this was a very long time ago. So I think it was like the 8th grade when I got tickets, and obviously I brought her because we have been super tight. I mean, we've obviously had our friendship fights that everyone does, but we've always been very close, and I obviously had to bring her since she introduced me. So yeah, we got to see MCR together, which was amazing. It was so much fun, and it was also such a flex to say I got to see them live because not a lot of people in my age range did back then. All right, let's go into the purple here next. So this one is Saints Protect Her, but yeah, it was I don't know, kind of iconic to go see them live back then. I'm just gonna pop that on the inner part of the lid and pulling it up the crease a little bit. And I'm just using this giant fluffy brush just to soften all the edges. I might pull that purple even a little bit further over. It's like a black purple, which, I mean, these shades are very fitting for MCR. I remember when this palette, or this, it was like a little collection because it came with the palette, an eyeliner pen, the brush, and then a little pin. And I remember when it first got released, it was viral. Like, it was huge. Every emo kid or ex-emo kid or whatever, everyone wanted it, and myself included. I actually didn't get it originally. My partner surprised me with it. A while later they had restocked it, and my partner ended up ordering it for me, and I was so ecstatic. Like, I was heartbroken that I didn't get this when it first came out. Next we're gonna go into Serpent Sun, which is the black. Just with like a small fluffy brush, I'm gonna press that on this outer edge. But yeah, I was just so ecstatic when he gave this to me, because when I first missed it, I was heartbroken. Obviously it's a very dark look, but this is like the emo of emo bands from that generation. At least one of them, so of course it's all very dark tones. And then, what do I want to do now? Okay, I think we're gonna pull the black across the lower lash line. I have thoughts. I just have to do like a full dark look, obviously, with this palette. It just makes sense. I'll probably have to clean the lower lash line up a little bit once I take that tape off and see how everything lines up, but that's fine. Now what we're gonna do, this is gonna be not what I usually do shade-wise, but we're gonna pull in that silver, which is Explosive Light, and we're gonna pop that on the inner corner and on the brow bone. So I'm gonna take my NYX glitter primer, and just with this teeny tiny brush, this is what I'm gonna use to pick up both the primer as well as the shimmer. And I'm just gonna pop some of the glitter primer in that inner corner as well as that brow bone. Now picking up Explosive Lights and just popping that on the inner corner. I know I usually put something brighter in there, but I feel like for the vibe of this palette, this is gonna work. And I'm also popping that in the brow bone. Now, there's one more thing I wanna do. I have this shifty shadow. It's called a Shapeshifter shadow from Game Beauty, and it's like a purple to blue shift. It's called Johanna. I want to just put that on the inner, like on the center of my lid. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit more glitter primer and just pop that on the back of my hand. I want like the tiniest amount there, because I don't want this to cover either of the shades completely. And I'm just kind of like smushing it out on my finger so it's not too intense. And then we're going to pop it just on the center of the lid here. That was just my cat being angry. The door was closed, so I let her in. So just picking it up on my finger. So I'm just tippy tapping it on. I don't want it to be too intense. Kind of just a subtle like shift of that nice blue. So this is working really nicely. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it's a really nice little touch there. I am having a little bit of creasing, so I really like that touch of that blue purple. I'm just touching up the mattes above that shimmer here, kind of touching up the blend a little bit. I'm gonna go back in with the purple as well, just a tiny bit, and just touch up this inner edge here. There is a little patchy spot right up here. I don't know if you guys could see it, but I'm just gonna try and fix that. Looks like it covered okay. Alrighty, I think that's all I'm gonna do for eyeshadow. Now in the collection there is also this eyeliner pen, but I did get this collection a couple years ago, so I don't know if it's dried out or not. I'm gonna try doing an eyeliner, but I'm just gonna do that off camera with the rest of the look. If it does work, I'll let you guys know, and if it doesn't, I'll let you know if I pulled in something different or what when we go over all the products I used to finish off. I know there's still some fallout and everything, but I'm gonna clean that all up, finish off the rest of the face, and then I'll come back and show you the completed look. Alrighty guys, we are back with the completed look, and as you can see I did end up doing a little bit of liner and gems to finish off the eyes. So the gems are just these packs that I get off Amazon, and then I use a lash glue to pop them on. I did end up using the My Chemical Romance eyeliner. There's two sides to it. I used this side. It just seemed like the pigment on that side was still better. And then this side is kind of janky right now. Why are so many eyeliners like that? It's kind of annoying, but because I was talking about my Chantico Beauty one in other videos that does this, drives me crazy. But anyways, I did use this side, so that's what I did for eyeliner. And then in my waterline, I went in with my ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Outer Space. It was between this or the black, and I decided to go with the blue. Next, I went in with my e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara, just trying to get her emptied out, and I did throw on a little lash I got off Amazon. After my foundation and everything, I did my brows, but we're just going to talk about it because I always put it with the eye stuff. So this is the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Brunette, and I just used that to touch up the brows. For my face, I went in with my e.l.f. Sun Touchable primer. It's the only primer I have in my collection for now. I have one on the way though. And then I did also go in with my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in light, and I brought in my Wet n Wild color corrector in white. This one's in light. I feel like I said white. But anyway, so light and then in white, and I just mixed these together to get it a little closer to my skin tone. It's still kind of dark, but I'm just trying to get it used up and out of my collection so I can try a better shade, hopefully. For cream blush, I went in with my Qo blush stick, and I went in with, this side, which is Hug. So there's two sides to it. I went in with Hug. And then I also went in with a cream highlight. This one is Girly Pop from Moonslice Beauty. This one's from Qo. It's a Canadian brand. And then I set everything with my Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. For powder blush, I went in with my Game Beauty blush. This one is in Noir. It's from their Persona 5 Royale collection, which is unfortunately no longer available. That's where this one was from too, the same collection. And then I also went in with my Zisa Beauty highlighter in Interstellar. Lastly, for lips, I was just having a rough time getting my lips done. I tried to do a nice dark lip, but I need some better lip pencils that suit that color scheme because all my lip pencils are like reds and neutrals. So I ended up just going in with my Burt's Bees lip shimmer in Peony. I could not do the lips today. I don't know, it just was not working. So that's everything I used to finish off this look, and yeah, let's go ahead and hop into look number 2. Alrighty guys, so for the next look here, I already primed my eyes and we're going back into the MCR palette. This time we need to use up both the browns and the reds. So I was thinking I would put in Mausoleum Door in all up in the brow bone, and then we're gonna start with Pitchfork Red on the inner corner, blending it into Starless Eyes in the center, and then in the outer edge, we're gonna deepen it up with all the ghosts. And then I am gonna pull in something probably from my Efflorescence palette from Blend Bunny, just because I don't think I want silver for that look. I don't want it to have any cool toneness to it. So I'm just picking up that first brown on this big fluffy brush, and like I said, I did already prime my eyes. We're just going to be pulling that all throughout the brow bone here. And these shades are very good and pigmented. I did go into Hipdot's Instagram just to kind of check out and see if they're still doing anything. And I think their last post was from back in like 2023. So I have a feeling that maybe they rebranded or they just don't exist anymore or something, because they just don't. There was nothing. I think their last post was like 2023. So if you know anything about the brand, let me know, because for a while there, they were doing some really, really cool collabs. Glamlight definitely seems to be the brand of collabs now. And then there's of course a few others that do a couple here and there, but Glamlight definitely seems like the brand that is focusing on collabs, or at least was over the past couple years here. Now I'm going into Pitchfork Red, just on a nice smaller fluffy brush here. And I'm gonna put that on the lid as well, just because I think I am using a topper shade for my shimmer, so I just want to have a base on the entire lid. And I am pulling it up a decent bit. Alright, for the next shade, we're going into Starless Eyes, which is that, it's almost more of a burgundy red, and we're just gonna pop that on the eye. It's more of like a berry red, actually. It's really pretty, though. It's just about the same depth as that other red. I thought it would be a little bit deeper, but it is still really pretty. I haven't used this palette in so long, and I've only used it a couple times here, so. But the shades do perform really well. They seem really well pigmented. Ignore this spot here, I'm gonna touch it up. Sometimes my eyes just water a little bit. And now we're gonna go into that nice deep brown, All the Ghosts. And I'm just picking that up on, it's like the mid-range size between that first fluffy brush and those other two. This one's a little bit bigger than the small ones, but a little bit smaller than that big one. It's become my favorite brush to do this outer edge with. It packs down the pigment really well, but it's also nice for blending. I just really have been enjoying this brush here. This is from the Do Color brushes that they sent me in PR a couple months ago. I really like this set. There's a few brushes that have become staples in my everyday use, and this is definitely one of them. This is probably my most used brush out of that collection, actually, that they sent me. I love it. All right, I'm just gonna go back into that first really big fluffy brush. Most of my brushes are really old. They're back from when I bought Jeffree Star and stuff, so these pink ones are always from the Jeffree Star Morphe collection. And they're good brushes, but I don't buy from Jeffree Star anymore. I have not in a very long time, but I still try to use what I own. I do think it's crazy when people, when something gets canceled and they just destroy all the stuff they spent hard-earned money on. I mean, I guess if you can afford to, that's your prerogative, but I value money because I don't have a lot of it, and I never have. So if I spend my hard-earned money on something, even if I decide not to purchase something in the future, I'm still going to use what I have unless I get a better replacement and I can find a better home for it. But yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy when people can just destroy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of product to try and make a point, although it gets them viral, and then they kind of have a head start in their career if they're trying to do anything online. So I guess there's that, but I don't know, I just couldn't risk it because I probably wouldn't go viral if I did it, and then I would just have less products to play with and the same amount of followers. So I don't know, it's just not for me. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but I did. Okay, so for the lower lash line, what do I want to do? That was such a fast eyeshadow look so far. I think I kind of want to just pull the brown just from keeping it in the center so it doesn't connect. The dark brown, so All the Ghosts. And then I might do a black eyeliner, I'm not sure yet. So I'm just pressing that. And then whatever I put on the inner corner, I'll connect. So I'm just using a little angled brush for this part here. And just packing that brown throughout that lower lash line. As you can see, there is definitely some fallout here, but not too bad. It's definitely not going to be the worst to clean up. Now for the Efflorescence palette here, I think I want to go in with Bloom. It looks orange in the pan, but it does have a pretty heavy pink shift, so I don't know which way it's going to shift. It might be more orange, it might be more pink, but I think that's the one I want to go in with for on my lid. And then I probably will go in with wax on my inner corner and brow bone, I think. I'm just grabbing a little bit of my NYX glitter primer. Somehow it's still trooping along, so that's exciting. And we're just grabbing that NYX glitter primer on a small flat brush here, and I'm just popping that all over the lid. All right, and then with the same brush, I'm gonna pick up Bloom, and we're gonna pop that all over where that glitter primer got placed. Looks like I need to pick up a little bit more, just making sure it's everywhere that I want it. Yeah, I do think this leans a little too pink for what I want it to be, because there's already a shade that, is there a shade that does pink? I don't know. I wish it shifted a little bit more orange, although I could have grabbed, I have a shade I could have grabbed. I'm just realizing that I think that other shade would have been better. Ooh, but we'll use that one for the inner corner. All right, so we're actually gonna go in with this Persona 5 Game Beauty Shifty Shadow. This one's in Robin Hood. As you can see, I've hit pan on this one. It's one of my favorites. I have not found a replacement for it yet, and I really don't want it to run out before I do. But we're gonna put that on the brow bone as well as on that inner corner. So just popping some glitter primer down first. I'm like halfway through this one and I really don't want it to run out before I find a replacement for it because I love it. So I'm just popping that in the brow bone. That's what I wanted on my whole lid, but I didn't think about it, so it's okay. But this shade, oh, so good. I do wish there was something like this in the Efflorescence palette. That said, I love every shade that is in it. I just, something like this, because I'm running out and I'm scared to run out. Alrighty guys, I think that's all I'm doing for eyeshadow, so I'm gonna hop off, finish off the rest of the face, and then I'll come back and show you the completed look. Alrighty guys, we are back with the completed look and this is how it looks. I think it turned out really, really pretty. We're gonna start with finishing off the eyes. So the products I used were my e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. I also went in with my Wet n Wild Baby's Got Black eyeliner stick. And then I did go in with my Charmacy liquid liner pen. This one's in Blush Aurora. And I just did a little, I don't even know if you can see it, but just a little wing shape here and a little accent up there. I did go in with some gems that I just got off Amazon, and then I also went in with one of the ColourPop Glitterly Obsessed. I've been obsessed with putting these on my brow bone lately and also trying to use up the ones that have dried out. This one is in On Vogue. And then I did also go in with my e.l.f. brow pencil. This one is in Brunette. It's their Ultra Precise brow pencil. Next up, for my face, I went in with my e.l.f. Sun Touchable primer. One thing I've learned about this one is if you use even a little bit too much, it doesn't work as well. I have to use a very, very small amount, which I personally do like, but if I accidentally grab too much, it kind of gets a little bit messy and it doesn't soak into the skin super well. So I have to use quite a small amount of it, but I do still really like this. Then I also went in with my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, and then I lightened it up with my Wet n Wild Color Corrector in white. This one is in light here, and it is just a little bit too dark for me, which is why I lighten it up. It does feel like it's getting empty, so hopefully I can replace it with a shade that works better for me soon. Next, I went in with a cream blush. This one is Nutmeg from Cosmic Beauty. I really, really do love everything I've tried from Cosmic Beauty. I would love to add more products from them to my collection. I also went in with the Moon Slice Beauty Highlighter Stick. This one is in Girly Pop. After that, I went ahead and set my face with my Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. This one is in Translucent. I did do a second blush as well. This one is from Game Beauty and it is in the shade Queen. This is from the Persona 5 Royal collection. And that's everything I used to finish off this look. So let's go ahead and zoom out and we will talk about the palette. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed the two looks I created playing with the My Chemical Romance 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge palette. I had so much fun dipping back into this palette. I definitely think pulling in just a little pop of something else from the Efflorescence palette helped, just because with this being the only shimmer, I kind of wish they had swapped out one of these reds for a red shimmer maybe. That would have been nice. But all in all, I do still really, really like this palette. I love the looks I created and I'm so happy to have it in my collection, partially for the nostalgia, but also it does perform really, really well. I am curious why Hipdot is no more. If you know anything about it, please let me know down below. I don't know. If you know, let me know because I would love to know. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am very slowly but surely trying to grow my little channel here, and I just love having somewhere to express myself and talk about makeup and talk about the things I love, and I would love to find more people that just resonate with me as a person. Yeah, so I guess that's everything for today's video, so I will catch you in the next one. Bye!